practice. One guy I'm really heartbroken for is Dante Allen. You know what I mean? He had a great preseason, and he's a freshman. I gotta get him to understand he's just a freshman, and this was his first college game. But he's somebody who's going to be a big part of what we do. And then another one I thought that really played well for us was Ernest. I'm yelling at him all the game to get a rebound, and then I look up and he's got 14. We have five guys in double figures, which is big. We turned the ball over a little too much. We shared it about right, but for us, we have been playing and practicing so well that this one, just for our identity and our standard, we were almost there. We weren't there, but it was the first game, so I give them the benefit of the doubt.
Jay, what was the guys revealed that a special visitor to the locker room presented you with the game
Yeah,
plan?
yeah.
What was that moment?
It was big, because one, I've never seen my wife that fired up. So it was exciting to see her like that. And just she's been the biggest part of my journey with this stuff. So just sharing this moment with me means the world. She is part of the reason planting this seed in my head and why I'm sitting in this seat is because of her and everything she sacrificed for me. So without her, I wouldn't be able to sit here and be here.
Just for the record, the guys did say that they contemplated some water
Yeah,
and that it is coming at some point.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully that'll come after a championship.
Obviously, you can only learn so much about your team
Yep.
over the course of practices and scrimmages and stuff. I guess over the course of 40 minutes, what did you feel like you learned about your team tonight?
We have good resilience. And the one thing that carried over was our rebounding, our physicality, and our ability to get to the free throw line. We've done that in our scrimmages. It carried over in this game. Now, this was the first time we dealt with some type of adversity, with them coming out in a 1-3-1 in zone, and they haven't played 1-3-1 zone in 3 years. I've watched almost every game the last 3 years preparing for this one. And so just being able to adjust on the fly and figure out how we need to attack it and what we need to do, and then just staying consistent and staying poised was kind of the parts that I took away from the game.
Is 3 years worth of film a normal preparation?
No, 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 no. It's the first game. You're trying to, you can't sleep, so you're trying to figure out stuff to watch and get there. And then Coach Mincy's one of my best friends in coaching. A lot of people don't know that, but we kind of grew up together as assistants. And so, after the first two possessions, I look over there and he's smiling. And I'm like, this guy is unbelievable. Pulls out a 1-3-1 zone, but he's got a great team. They're gonna do a good job moving forward. He does a great job.
He came in and talked about the relationship you guys have.
Yeah.
How you greeted him last time when they came in
Yep.
and all that. Just the hug you guys had. That was not a thank you for beating me by 17 hug.
No.
The guy who was genuinely happy.
Yeah, no, and we've had long conversations before this. Like we said, we're good friends. We've discussed a lot of things moving forward. We haven't really talked in the last 2 weeks, but then he called me last night when he got in town, and I waited around for him when they showed up just to say hello. But he's someone, like I said, I consider a great friend in this industry. So that hug was like just a friendly hug, and him telling how excited he is and how happy he is for me to get my first win and stuff.
Obviously, not every game will go like this, but to have five guys in doubles, to have, I think it was 6 or 7 guys taking at least 5 or 6 shots, nobody more than 10.
Yep.
That's that's going to be an approach I think you're going to like. If you can find a lot of nights like that, that's probably a pretty good recipe.
Yeah, it is, and I felt we were bad tonight, to be honest with you. This wasn't even a good night for us, and a little bit was the zone and them just throwing us off a little bit, and then the first game jitters. We had a bunch of first game jitters, and our flow and our pace and our just continuity wasn't there like it should be. But this is what our stat sheet should look like. I think we can end up with maybe 6 in double figures, but Malik, I feel just moving forward, will be our leading scorer. And part of that is just the position he's in at that 4 and being a bigger 4, and just the advantage and the mismatches he'll have on a daily basis. We got to get him to rebound some more. He can't be at that position and only get 2 rebounds. But then, for Trey and True to figure stuff out on the fly was important as well. And then Sheldon barely played, it felt like. He was still able to impact the game. And then the guys off the bench, Solly, Marcus has had a great preseason. And just his ability to be a connector, as I like to call it, be an ultimate glue guy. He's kind of like, I've been teasing him. He doesn't like it because he's not a Warriors fan, but he's kind of like our Draymond Green, just with the different things he can do. So I was excited for him to play well, too.
Did you script rotations a little better?
Today was a read and react. I had a script, but then the 1-3-1 in the zone, and so you got to be able to adapt on the fly. And some guys probably didn't play as much as I wanted them to, especially being Solly and Timo. But just the way the game was going, and in that middle part of the second half, I thought that first group was playing really well, and I didn't want to kind of mess up the rhythm we had got in.
Coach, how do you think your team fared against the zone, and what adjustments did you make on the fly to adjust and come out against it?
It fared pretty well. We have prepared, of course, against a 2-3 because that's the zone that they shown. So we did 2-3, and they came out in the 1-3-1. So we kind of ran our man offense against it, and then at halftime we showed them exactly what they need to be looking for, and then they came out in the second half and they executed it perfectly.
And then defensively, just what did you like about your team's performance tonight, and what are some of the things that you'd like to clean up?
I'm trying to be positive. I didn't think we were great defensively with where we've been. The ball got in the paint too much. I thought our ball screen coverage today really struggled. But the one thing I am excited about is the guys just continued to battle. And they played the whole 40 minutes, and they figured it out on the fly. And it's going to be games like that. And especially for this to be the first game against Jacksonville and moving forward, with looking forward to Thursday. I just saw the score on my phone. So they must be pretty good. I know some of the names on the team, but I haven't got to watch them yet. I wanted to focus on this one, but we got to turn the page quick.
Jay, I want to ask about 37 trips to the line, just what it means to get to the free throw line that much. How big a part is your game, and also what it meant to you to see Jim Larinaga there?
This emphasis one on the free throws is a huge part of what we do. It's one of the things we measure. We always want to make more than they attempt. And through 3 scrimmages, we've been able to do that. And for us, with our size and our physicality, where we built, we got to get to the free throw line. We got to capitalize, and we made them today. We're almost shooting 80% from the line. If we can do that every night, we'll be right in the mix. And for Coach L and his wife to be here was huge. Huge. Like I've always said, and I'll say it because it is true. But this is the program that he built. And all the success you look up in the banners come from him. So just he's welcomed me with open arms ever since I got here, and to see him at the first game, him and his wife was just a blessing to me.
You got time for a couple more? This Jacksonville team's obviously going to win. They can win a bunch of games.
Yeah.
You saw the Bethune score. I didn't want to scare you by
Yeah. No.
until you revealed that you had seen it. Is it, without seeing the Bethune tape yet, obviously, is it a reminder that the margin right now is just so thin? Like, you just don't know who anybody.
You don't know. You're right. You don't know who anybody is, and I think a lot of people right now, you don't know who your team is because everybody has so many new players. And tonight you can practice and you can do stuff, but you really don't know until you go through these first couple of games who you are, what you can be. You can have an idea of what you think it's going to look like, but I think everybody right now is still trying to figure out their team because everybody has so much new. There's only a few teams that have, great retention, but with Bethune, a big part of it is like they have high major transfers. You know what I mean? Like a kid, Artorio Morris. I recruited him when I was at Texas. He was a McDonald's All-American, I believe. He got in some trouble, and that's how he ended up at Bethune. But he's an NBA talent. So that game of playing, he's like the same caliber player that we have and that Auburn has. So it doesn't shock me. And then you have a guy who averaged 20 last year. I want to get his name right, Mr. Bradley, I think is. They have. It's the day of the portal. Those guys usually wouldn't be there, but they are there. So we got to adjust and be ready to compete.
You really said that size, positionally, and defense and rebounding is what you're trying to accomplish here in your first year at the U. After seeing your team play tonight, how satisfied are you in that aspect of things?
I'm enjoying the win, but I'm not satisfied because, one, we didn't play to the level or the standard, but two, also it wasn't who we have been. And I have to realize that part of that is because it's the first game. Guys are pumped up, overly excited. But, we always want to keep teams to under 70 points. We did that. Usually we want to have 6 or less made threes. They came out and bombed 4 right away. So we lost that battle. And then the field goal percentage is right around, what they shoot, 46 for the game. We want to have that around 40. So, it gives me a lot to talk about. From our standard, I would say we're probably like a D defensively from where we've been and how we played. So we just got to get better and move forward.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Michelle Crawford, Miami Herald. Congratulations, you addressed the crowd before, after. Now, can you just tell us, what did you see on the first night? What did you learn about your team tonight?
We're resilient. One thing, and I've said it in the summer, being asked about it, like our chemistry, we're there, and we're bought in. We love each other, just to put it point blank period, we love each other. And I feel like when you have that, everything else takes care of itself. When we get into like intense games, back and forths, it just really helps us to, overcome any run that the other team goes on and allows us to keep playing our basketball.
And Ernest, just when did you find out, you're gonna get a chance to, talk to the crowd before the game? Just how special was that? You were the one to do that.
Yeah, no, I think they told me probably about maybe a day or two prior. But everyone knows like I'm good talker. But obviously just being in that moment, like I appreciate that. Because again, everything I said was true, came from my heart. And just being honest. We need the fans every single night. And we appreciate their support. So.
You league 20 points tonight, 10 free throws as well. Was there like an extra emphasis on getting to the line today, or?
It wasn't like an emphasis to get to the line. It was just playing downhill and just giving what the defense gave me. He did a good job sealing down low and opening up space for me to attack and to make the lob over the top when the big came over. So I was just picking poison at this point of the game, and we just kept running the same play over and over in their 1-3-1 zone. So it just helped in my favor.
And you mentioned playing downhill. Just how much of an emphasis is that from Coach Lucas for you guys, just playing downhill and attacking the basket?
That's huge. That's our bread and butter, getting downhill, getting on the break, all that type of stuff, just attacking them relentlessly every single time we get down the court. So playing off two, getting in the paint, getting paint touches, stuff like that. It just helps us on offense to get advantages throughout our possessions every time we get on the court.
Malik, just how special was it, first game in Miami, you guys got the win, you scored 20 points. How special was that?
It was super special for everybody, not just me. Coach got his first win. He got a double-double. So, there's a lot of good play from us. We just got to keep going every day and then practice hard every single day, and then it's going to show when we get out on the court each day.
And obviously, everyone, it's been a topic all through the offseason. Everyone's new to the team. Everyone's gelling. What did you learn? You can only learn so much in practice. You have to wait till you guys actually play another team. What do you feel like you guys learned about yourselves tonight?
Like he said, we were resilient. They had a 1-3-1. We wasn't expecting the 1-3-1 zone tonight, and we came out there and figured out. We were stagnant in the beginning, and we figured out certain concepts that would get the defense to spread out, and we attacked from there, and that just helped us there. And then just being solid on defense, but that comes with time and just playing with these guys and just being more of a communicator on the defensive side, and we're going to get more stops on that end.
Ernest, 5 guys finishing doubles.
Yep.
Nobody got more than 10 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Is this kind of the blueprint of what this team's going to be?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like, any team that really cares about winning, that should be the blueprint in general. Obviously, that is something that Coach said at the start, before the start of the game. Let's just get the assists up, just dishing the ball. As soon as we get 2 feet in the paint, kick it out. Again, with our size inside, we should be expecting teams to sink on drives just to, negate and take that out. And that opens up shots. Timo, I think he had 2 great shots, great looks. Everyone from Marcus, everyone down the line shooting on the perimeter. That just opens up our offense and makes it easier for us to make reads.
Is it fair to assume that because this was Coach's first win that he may have gotten a little wet inside the room?
Man, we were talking about it, but we chilled. We're definitely going to get him this season, though, for sure.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, we're going to get him, though.
But, yeah, his wife did surprise him with a game ball. So
yeah,
he
got the game ball, for sure.
Yeah.
Ernest, the offense really kind of found its stride towards the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You as a lob threat, and just how do you think that the offense adjusted to Jacksonville's zone in that second half? How do you think the adjustments were?
First thing I'll say is that the game isn't over until the buzzer goes off. It doesn't matter what point you're at in the game. We understand basketball is a game of runs. It doesn't matter when you make that run, but it's going to happen. So obviously, going deeper into the game, that's just tells us, not let our foot off the gas. Keep playing our game, keep going to our strength. Everything that we worked on, the little details, and like Leek said, getting into that in the middle of the paint, opening the option he has to either score, kick it out, or throw that lob to me. We just got to stay with it until the game is over. So.
Ernest, how would you evaluate defensively how you guys did?
We definitely could have done better. How much they had tonight as a team? 60. Obviously, I think 70 is what we want to hold teams to. But even for me, obviously, I hold myself and all the guys to a higher standard. we could definitely hold them to a lower amount of points. There were definitely a few plays that, we let them slip by, easy buckets, tiny tic-tac fouls that we shouldn't have given up. But, I mean, defensively overall, we did good. Definitely could have done better. Like I said, eliminating the straight line drives into the paint. But overall, like coming out the game, the threes that they hit too was something that, woke us up and let us know, we got to be more aggressive, not shooting in the gap, trailing instead. Like I said, just understanding what their offense is and knowing how to stop it night in and night out. So.
You had a couple of those high-low losses to Ernest towards the end of that game. Just how is that chemistry between you two, just on the offensive end and the defensive end, as the anchors of the front court?
Yeah, I mean, it plays a big role of me and E having that connection. When I see E in the dunker and the big has to play a 2-on-1 with me, it's kind of hard for him to make a decision because I got good touch around the rim, so I could throw the little float shot if I want. And he has to pick and choose what's the poison he wants to take on those lob plays like that. So it's either lob or I get 2 points or I'm getting fouled and going to the free throw line. And that's what happened today. I got 12 free throw attempts, missed 2 out of the 12, so that's pretty good. And then, just the defense connection, just communication between me and E, and just knowing that we're the guys, we're the anchors, and we got to do a lot of the big man stuff. So just being physical down there and just knowing that the communication is super important between me and E.
For either of you guys, Ernest, you made mention of it earlier. This is a team that loves each other already. How'd you guys fast track that? Because this was one of the strangers now.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you look at me, Leak, and Trey. Obviously, we're Florida guys. You look at DA, you look at Key, Marcus. They're back from the crib too. So obviously, having a handful of guys from the state who knows, this is home, and obviously, Timo, Noam, Solly coming in, Shelton, them guys, JJ, True, just welcome them in a sense, letting them understand that, it's big, it's big for us, it's huge for us being at home. I wish it's a feeling that more guys than not get to experience in their lifetime, being able to play at the crib. Like, I'm from Orlando, but again, Florida's Florida for me. And, it's a different kind of pride that we carry on our shoulders, on our back every single night. Wearing that Canes remind me across our chest, it means more special. So obviously just in the off season, showing them around, clicking up with the guys, doing different things. In a sense, not to sound cliche, but showing them the way of life, as a Floridian. So I feel like that definitely helped in the chemistry over the off season.
Malik, can you share anything about Jay coaching today? Maybe halftime message?
Yeah, during that halftime skit when we finally, when Coach brought us in and was showing us about the 1-3-1 they had, it just had great adjustments throughout the game and just put people in positions to make plays, 2-on-1s, put the defense in so many concepts that it's hard to guard, and that's what we did. We got pick and rolls and got into the pocket and was able to make passes over the top. So, I mean, just those little adjustments that Coach made, it helped us get over the top and expand that lead from 5 points to 15 and then 20 after that, and then game was over from there. So we just had to continue playing and just keep going hard. But, yeah, he had great adjustments coming out of half, and it helped us a lot on the offense end.
All right, that's all.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.